there's a lot of big news wandering through the air. September 14th is a couple of weeks away, but it's going to be a pretty neat day, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You have probably one of the biggest rematches in college football history after what happened last year with Alabama and A&M.
It's going to be crazy.
Then you got
Kyle Field.
Then you got a big fight coming up. Not to mention the following
You
day.
got Canelo. He can do it. Come on.
You have a slate of NFL games that pits everybody. I mean, what more can you ask for on a weekend?
Canelo's going to do it.
I hope so, and I think everybody here is hoping for it.
Oh, of course.
I don't think
man. Latino. He's got to kick his butt.
I don't think I've met anybody from the Valley who will say, "Yeah, I'm going for Mayweather."
And if you find him, let's get him. No,
I've met some that say, "Yeah, you know, Mayweather's a great fighter," which
he is.
Totally. But yeah,
he's not one of the greatest champions ever because he don't fight enough. Next.
But that's 2 weeks from now. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh yeah, sorry. Wait a minute. I was talking sports, high school.
Yeah,
into the high school.
Yeah, we're talking about high school. So
incredible.
With that being said, we saw a great weekend of first week football.
We did, and it leads us to a really great concept, which is the Edinburgh versus McAllen show.
Yeah, that's a great preseason whatever.
Motif.
Yeah.
Well, those guys have been playing since the 20s. They were in the same district, as you know, for many, many, many years. Even when they were split into a south zone and Corpus was in the north, McAllen and Edinburgh have been big rivals in everything.
And it was Memorial Edinburgh this past weekend, and if it weren't for a kick from a very trusty kicker, which you're kind of wondering, because he made one from 54. Why not
a record for him? 54.
Why not a shorter one? But that's nice.
Christoph is a great kicker.
He's going to make them, and I don't see him not making any.
No, in fact, but he wants to get back out there as soon as possible and just boot one through. Kickers is very psychological, right? We know he's got a great leg. He's probably going to be a college kicker. I think he's going to play for free somewhere. I really do. Make a 54-yarder, and the scouts upstate are going to be like, wait a minute, you know, 54 yards and 54. I don't care whether you kicked it in the Yucatan. You know, that's 54 yards. So I love Christoph. And Edinburgh has to be pleased with that effort, really.
I really do think so. I mean, they held the kid. You know what I mean?
12 for 54, which is 4.5 or some such. But wow, he never managed to break one. You remember last year, 71 and 59-yard touchdowns in the game against Bobcats over in McAllen. That was his coming out party. We're like, who is this freshman? So I wonder. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I don't think he's going to get one. But you know what I mean? For Edinburgh to hold it, you know, that was a solid effort.
Maybe the Edinburgh defense is good again. You know, they had some good defenses through the past several years. They had a lot of good linebackers. Peter Boyko is the guy that comes to mind. I used to love that kid. 44. He would hit you twice on one play. You know? So now Edinburgh did that. Who do they got coming up?
Edinburgh has Matt Kai coming.
The McAllen motif, right? Okay, so McAllen, you like the effort they gave first week, and so did I.
You really can't complain, especially with Ricky Rod, 181 yards.
He's a good back.
That's a great back.
And Hoover ran 120.
Exactly, and we knew he was going to have his year this year also.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really good effort, and I see this game going really good also.
Shutout on the road. Do that. I don't care if you played Laredo or on Neptune, man. That's a good lick. 233 total yards. McAllen has been missing, I think, a little bit of defense in the last several years because they've had some explosive offensive teams. Maybe this is an old-fashioned turn back the clock team. So far, so good after 1 week. You get that. If you give up that number all year, 233, you'll make the playoffs. Guaranteed.
Yeah, that was a great number. And then so that fits them, you know, that game. So we also had Memorial there.
Memorial plays at Conomedes.
They got another Edinburgh team coming up.
Let me tell you, man, that's going to be a heck of a ball game. It was last year. The Jags upset them by 3, and that set the tone for their season. Think they can do it again?
It's possible. Anything's possible. I mean, Coach Littleton's defense is kind of on the weak side, you know, but they did stop Edinburgh.
Yeah, only gave 2 field goals. That ain't bad, right? Yeah. If you, again, it's like the 233. If you give up 2 field goals a game and that's it, then you're probably going to the playoffs, right? They're going to have to score more, and I think that they'll work that out as they go. You look for the kid to try to really make some big yards this time.
I think so, yeah.
A back like that don't want to have 54 yards.
That's on Thursday night, so you get to see Thursday, Friday.
You do that too. Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Cat Stadium.
And Saturday at Cats, yeah.
Now, back to Economedes for a second. I really like the kid that we had ran a picture of, Ramsey. I thought it was Ramses, like the federal, but it's Ramsey, so that's good. It's all right, still a good name. Got off of a guy, juked him, hurdled one guy, and then vaulted into the end zone. I was like, goodness gracious, man, it was something else. It looked like Reggie Bush back in the day for USC.
There you go, man.
Yeah, so that guy's tough. He's real quick. And put it this way, when he takes the handoff, he's in the secondary really fast. Some backs seem to take forever to get there. He's like he's moving on air or something. He's very fast, and for that 10-yard span. I think that's going to be a great game.
Actually, so do I.
What about North, though? North got Rivetta coming in.
North has Rivetta coming in. I don't know. It's kind of the
You
way
think they're going to kick their butts?
I think so. I hate to say it that way, but I do.
Rivetta's got some weapons. Let me throw some numbers at you. You know me, I like a good number.
Yeah.
Kid for Rivetta, the quarterback, 196 yards passing, only 5 completions. That's almost 40 yards of completion. They had 2 scores of like one of 67, one of 70. In other words, they got some weapons. I don't think physically they're probably a match for North, but I'll tell you the truth. I don't think a lot of teams physically will be a match for North this year. I really feel like that's a very strong team that will just keep hitting you and keep pushing you and keep messing with you and make you turn the ball over.
Now, you could always run into the argument saying, well, what if they get the upset if they take this team too lightly?
Wow, gosh. I tell you what, I don't think that it's impossible that Rivetta can beat North. It's just that I feel like North is very strong right now. But the point you make is perfect. Any team can have a week where it didn't do its work.
Mm-hmm.
See, you get to the game on Friday and you almost know if you're going to lose the game because your kids had distractions, they didn't work hard. I feel like early in the season it's not going to be that way.
The good news is, though, is that it wasn't a short week, even with the
Right.
Labor Day and all.
Right.
These kids still had school, so they got to practice. That was a good thing.
Like we always say, if you lose them for a day, who knows what they're doing? They may be laying around eating bonbons, and that's no good. I tell my 10-year-old that. You take a day off, somebody somewhere else is working out. So no, I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to give us a good slate over at Cat Stadium this weekend.
Yeah, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. Thursday at Condominium.
Thursday.
Against Memorial. Golly, man, I really feel like the Jags can win this game. Of course, see, Memorial is still an unknown quantity. I have a feeling that they'll be a very good football team because they generally are, and they've got some talent. Let's see what improvement they make from that first game with EHS to now. You know, Condominium, what they got to do is get ready to play a much tougher opponent because they know Brownsville Porter. All right, Memorial stuff. They got some size. The Jags' offensive line, by the way, remember we talked about the rebuilt line. I think they did a pretty good job. But the main thing I was impressed with is they were physical. I saw one dude chase a guy down and pop him, knock him right in his butt. I'm like, okay, that'll work. That'll work right there, number 60. I like that kid. So I mean, you know, that line. That hopefully they'll be 2 or 3 year starters like these other guys were behind them. The Prietos and them.
I got you. The final Edinburgh school, just to go back to there, Bella. They didn't get their win. They faced off against PSJ. I was at that game. PSJ had a very solid win.
Yeah. Were they a pretty strong team physically?
They were a strong team. Jesus, Jesse Novato, he was solid. He had 179 yards of
you
offense.
said he was going to be good, so far you're a guru.
Yeah, he had 179 yards of offense.
Nice.
I mean,
that's cool. Is he not a big guy or no?
he's
Like 5'10"?
Yeah, he's relatively. You know, he's not
Pretty athletic, though?
Yeah, no, he is athletic, and he made a lot of moves actually.
Nice.
And he actually broke one off, but you know, Holding brought it back. You know, typical thing. But as far as Vela is concerned, Renato Cavazos, I mean.
Yeah, they think you need to get him going because he's a great running back.
He is.
He can have a better game. He's not going to have no 24 yards this time. No way.
And the fact that they switched off quarterbacks.
Still trying to find out who they like better, I guess.
I liked Eved a little better.
Big kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good arm.
Yeah, I liked him a little bit better.
Tristan's got some experience.
He
though.
does. He
He's a
does.
pretty
He
good
does. He
player
does.
himself.
I saw a couple of but they put that run together for about 75 yards.
Yeah.
9 plays and
Nice.
they got the score.
Cano, man. I've always liked Armando Cano. That little dude makes plays. I like that kid a lot.
man.
Look, so what do they got to do now? They got PSJ Southwest. PSJ Southwest had a good game.
Yeah.
They whipped pace, like 31-7, and they rushed for a ton of yards. And Jesse Villarreal had 4 touchdowns. They got to come ready to play. But I think, as I said last week, this is a winnable game. I really feel it is.
So do I. Yeah.
What do you think was the main drawback against PSJ? Was it penalties or?
Penalties?
Yeah.
Man, but to be quite frank, their defense was solid. Their offense was solid.
Yeah.
They're going to have a really good test in Los Fresnos this week.
Okay, yeah, Los Fresnos got a win over San Benito, 24-16 or 17.
Yeah.
It's a pretty reasonably good game. I didn't realize that William Cox, who had about 900 last year, was back. I thought he had graduated. I would have put him on the watch list for my other group a lot if I'd known he was there. He had 100 the first game. That's a tough match. Maybe PSJ is better than people thought.
I think so. And this is going to be their week for them to prove it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get their chance. And, you know, I think they give them a good match. I really do.
I don't think Los Fresnos is the Los Fresnos of 2008.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and they're not quite sure. See, here's the thing. Week 2, you're not quite sure what you got yet. Okay, you got 1 point on the curve. It could easily go here, or stay going like this. Talk to me second or third week in district, and then you can really tell. Halfway through, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the very beginning of the week of the year and the season. What more can you ask for? You need to go out and you got to see them perform.
But just think if the Bears do win, they'll be 2-0, and last year they were 1-9. That's pretty slick. You know?
No, this is actually, you know, noticing what I saw on the sidelines.
Seemed like a pretty good team.
It seemed like they were intact. It's a whole team. It's a whole unit.
Nice.
they're all playing with each other, and I think the chemistry is really good on that team.
Well, and they're another team that has a defender that became a quarterback.
Exactly.
Right? East has one, Mission has one, they have one. I'm a little bit surprised about Peter State North, to be frankly frank. 32-7.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't do much. They had 130-something yards against Donna. Hey, either Donna is that good, or man, I was surprised about the Raiders. I really expect them to be a good football team.
I expected them to be a good football team too.
And they still may go 9-1. How do we know?
Like we were saying just a while ago, it's the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
What can you expect?
So what do? Okay, if you're a team that played well, like Equanimous, you just want to ride the wave. If you're a team that didn't play well, like Memorial, even though they won, or Peter State North, you got to kind of, without making it seem like crisis time, you got to kind of get their attention and say, okay, guys, let's show what we got this week, not what they made us do.
And all those coaches will show that. All those coaches have always been known for them to be like, okay, let's do it like this.
Very solid, consistent coaches. Here's the thing: you got one more week to show that ain't you before it starts counting on the district ledger, and that's
exactly.
So. Yeah.
Speaking of solid, consistent coaches, Ranadami.
Oh yeah, man.
Sharyland.
Look. What were we saying before we came on? They're good again. They're good again, and it's a great thing. Mad. Anyone who throws for 248 yards in their first varsity start. I wrote something about to the effect of Scott Meyer and such and this and that, but that's a good start.
It is a great start. Up this coming week, they got Laredo Alexander, which is not.
Oh, they do play.
Yeah.
They play Alexander.
Yeah, they play Alexander.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got Alexander, who just came off that loss off of Alice.
44-28.
Yeah.
Alice is good. Alice is always good in football.
But they got Skaggs. Zavon Skaggs. He's 14 for 125, 2 touchdowns. It's going to be a good test for the Sharyland.
It is a good test, and it has been in recent years. Maybe not so much last year. I'll tell you this, because they weren't playing that good at the beginning. I feel like Alexander they're pretty good, and don't let a loss to Alice fool you, because those are both playoff teams in the making. It's a great time for Sharyland to test themselves. I mean, they scored 42 points in the first half against Hannah. God, I didn't think Hannah was, either Sharyland is amazing or Hannah's not that good. I mean, that's just, Hannah came out and just fell, I heard, bang,
I would
Christian Martinez maybe had something to do with them falling.
I would go with the Sharyland before I would go with the Hannah comment you just made. But
we'll be getting calls from Brownsville. Sorry, I didn't. Well, I mean, I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, man. I mean, just
Sharyland's good.
Yeah.
That big Christian Martinez. I saw him last year. I can't remember the game. He made a huge catch. Huge, big, and he can run. I mean, he gallops, man. That guy's gonna have 1,000 yards if things work out the way. Of course, the thing is they spread it around so much that you seldom get that guy with 1,000,000 yards. No, I think we'll see. Michael Gonzalez, I think, is a running back. They use him as a receiver, and I've always loved when high school football teams throw to the backs. Just a little dump, hitch. I mean, get them going in space, and so they can choom. That's what they do best. Sometimes a handoff is almost becoming old hat, man. Out the window.
Yeah, these days, I mean, with the spread and everything, you're pretty much a receiver no matter what.
Yeah. Everybody was. Of course, the thing about the spread is that it takes the tight end away, and as an old diehard, I kind of like to see the old tight end. Because see, here's the thing. With a tight end, you don't know whether he's going to be a receiver or a blocker. With people in the slot, you know what they're going to do. You can't block out there. They're going to catch a pass, right? So the tight end is always that kind that slips away. That's what Economides did twice with Teo Ariola. 2 for 52 against Porter. They're gonna exploit the middle, I think, if they can against Memorial. It's going to be a great week. Put it this way.
This is going to be a good week. Yeah.
And we'll have 2 points on the curve instead of 1. And we'll be able to say, well, we think this and that, based on more of a reasoned approach. Exactly. Put it this way, this is what you and me are waiting for like 3 months. Remember the summer, it was like 100 degrees, right? I'm at the Roadrunner game going.
The whole summer, I was telling one of my friends, it's football season again. I'm knee deep in it, and I love it. Yeah.
When you look for that Dave Campbell's magazine, not there yet. It's here, and boom,
Yeah, it's here, yeah, it was good. I think, and this is just the beginning, like we said, and
already had a 54-yard field goal.
Yeah.
So that's a good lick. And 2 shutouts, by the way. See, the Economides and North games were eerily similar. Same score at the halftime, almost the same amount of everything. I mean, it's a weird thing, both dominated. Let's see how they do this week. North Saturday against Nevada.
Well, I think when you have 3 games you can watch on a weekend, what more can you ask for?
Yeah. So we won't pick them. I don't want to pick them.
No.
That's the thing. The other shows when you pick, I don't really feel good about that because I don't like one team thinking that I don't believe in them, and then they do believe it. You know how it is. If you pick somebody and you didn't pick the other team, they'll look at you like you're a punk when you're walking up before the game. I'm like, guys, come on.
You would hope most of these teams, when you do pick them, it's like I was telling you earlier, we were talking about polls or what have you. I was saying, polls are for fools. I mean, really. But when they see the poll, I hope that gives that team motivation to go out there and really punch somebody in the mouth.
Right, and if you're the type of coach like Manny Gomez or something, you're always going to be able to use that Hey, did you see what they said about us? They really get you riled up. A bunch of killers go out the locker room, you know. Psychological genius, man.
So it's going to be great this weekend. I mean, I just can't.
Are they going to
wait.
be San Benito?
Yeah, that's going to be a good one, man.
Yeah. San Benito has every right to believe it can compete with them because it has pretty well the last several years, right?
And that's like saying, you know, is Edinburgh going to be Edinburgh North? You know, on paper.
Kind of meaties north. That's
Yeah,
the first.
you
That's
know,
the district opener.
On paper, you know, you're
Right.
looking at all these games, you know, all these teams who are, you know, yeah, they're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win,
Mhm.
but that paper doesn't mean anything when the
No.
city title's involved.
It's like gambling, and of course we wouldn't condone that at all. Bottom line is, we don't know who's going to win, so that's why the picking thing always kind of
Yeah.
threw me. But some people like it. Some people like it. I vote that we don't pick on there, more or less. Maybe inadvertently
yeah,
something.
sure.
will
I
slip
mean,
out.
you know, but you got to pick a winner. There's
Way
got
to be a winner, you can't have a tie.
Your brain must calculate what the rational decision is. That doesn't mean you have to fall behind it emotionally.
Exactly.
With that bit of wisdom and wit from both of us, let me just say that we're glad to be back on Talking Sports. Spread the word. Tell your parents about us. Get them to use their phones. We're going to come out on we got a website, right?
Yeah.
This is a webcast, right?
Yeah, it is. You know, we'll be on there.
What's the difference between a webcast and a podcast?
Just the sound.
Okay, this is not a podcast.
This is not a
I told
podcast.
somebody I was doing a podcast, and they thought I was in outer space. Okay, it's a webcast. Fine. Greg Selber, Pete Pettis.
We're out, man.